Okay, this is going to be kind of part one of the tutorial for the mini nature journal book. This will get you started on the cover and the inside page, and once you get all that done, then it'll be easy to kind of follow along to do any of the rest of the decorating. I'm going to actually do one that I'll work on, but right now I'm just going to show you what you're going to need to cut and what sizes and things. So you're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. Score it in half, fold it, and burnish that crease well. Then what you're going to do is, and I have started using art glitter glue, but with a glue of your choice, not double stick tape, because it won't hold up. You want to run a bead of glue about 1/8 of an inch from the outer edge, and then just put you a few swatches in the center because you want to create a good bond with that. Then fold it over, and taking your bone folder, burnish all of those edges so that glue really spreads and seals that edge, because it's important that you have that edge all sealed up on your piece, because this is going to become your cover. And you might think, well, that's not going to be a heavy-duty enough cover. Believe me, by the time you have the two thicknesses of your cardstock, now I'm just using 110-pound white on this one. The first little book I made was just the craft, not the heavy-duty stuff, just the regular craft from Hobby Lobby. And I've been doing covers like this for books since before 2008, but I started doing them and making tutorials in 2008 doing them, and they have all held up perfectly fine. I have no issues from them. When I do these, I generally like to make a couple of covers at a time. Set them to the side, give them plenty of time for that glue to dry, and it does create a very hard, stiff bond in there. Then, once that is set up and that glue has dried, you're going to put it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 4 inches across your 8.5 inch side, 4 inches on one side, turn it around, score it 4 inches on the other side. That's going to leave your 1/2 inch gusset and your 2 4-inch wide pages. Then what I do is I go back, and with my piece in my scoreboard, I come in to the 4 1/8 inch line, and I just do a very, very light score line. Flip it around and do the same thing. All that is going to do is put that mark that gives me a guide of where my center gusset page is going to go. That way, when I begin gluing that in, I don't have to worry about trying to eyeball it. I have those little guidelines to keep me kind of on task. So that's all there is for the cover at this time. Then you're going to make your page insert, and that is going to be a piece of 5 1/4 by 8 1/4 inch cardstock, just single layer. Put it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 4 inches, spin it around and score it at 4 inches. And that's what's going to create that 1/4 inch gusset that, once your cover is ready, is going to be glued into place. And if you want to mark that top and bottom edge, that's going to be up to you. I've done this so many times, I just eyeball it. But once you've glued just that gusset into place, and make sure before you do all your final creasing that everything lines up and matches up with your little score line guides that you've given yourself, then your page is ready. Then this area is where your flap page will go. Now your flap pages are only going to have to be 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall, and just score them at 3 1/2 inches on one side. And I just made a stack of these because I was going to be doing a couple of books plus the demo book. And I just scored them all on the same edge, just at a 1/2 inch. And you'll need 2 per book, so have 2 for each book. Or if you're going to make, like, I'm going to be making multiple books, but I'm only going to make one that y'all can see. This is all there is to the basis of the book. The cover, the insert page or the gusseted page. I still like to kind of call it a single signature, even though it's just glued in. It's still just one signature page in it. And then your flaps. That's all you have to do for the base of the book. Then to prepare your waterfall, what you're going to want, and you can do the waterfall 2 different ways, and I'll show them once I get started on mine. But you're going to need a base piece of 3 by 4 inches. This way it will keep you on task for making your waterfall mechanism. Then you're going to cut each page, and you'll need 4 for this if you're going to do the same size I did, at 3 by 3 inches, and then score each one at a 1/2 inch on one side. And because there are 3 by 3 square, it doesn't matter which side, just as long as each one has 1/2 inch score line, because those are going to then be folded back and become your hinges that you will mount onto the waterfall base, and that's how you'll build your mechanism. And then you'll be able to see that once we actually start putting one together. And I draw a little line so that it keeps me on point of where I need to be and what I'm doing when I'm working on it. But the waterfall mechanism is as simple as a 3 by 4 base, 4 pages that are 3 by 3 inch square, score at a 1/2 inch, because what you're going to be left with is a 2 1/2 inch by 3 inch page, which is what perfectly fit on the inside cover and made a very nice waterfall, but left plenty of opportunity for working on your first page that would be here, and didn't overpower it. And I just thought the 3 by 4 size was perfect for that. So that's what you'll need to do to get started. And then once you get all your parts ready, you can come back and watch part 2, and I will start actually putting a book together. And I'm going to be using this paper pad, or using papers from it, along with some solid colors of cardstock that coordinate with some of these colors. And there again, this pad came from a Tuesday morning store. So that's what's going to take place with this book. Thanks.